don't know why my computer does.
Hello, my loves, and welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your money. Today is actually March the 16th. We've crossed over the half of the mark already. Y'all, this year is flying. I don't know what day it is half the time. And now we're in daylight savings time too. I'm like, oh no. Today we're actually talking about leadership, influence, and economic power in the Black community. Pastor Jamal Bryant recently apologized after calling off the Target fast and admitting that he may have been out of touch with what the community wanted. Now, this raises a bigger question. When pastors, influencers, or public figures call for economic boycotts, who actually controls these movements? And what responsibility do leaders have to the people who follow them financially? Boycotts can actually move millions of dollars, impact companies, as we have seen, and influence policy. But they also require trust and accountability. We are going to talk about it today because Lala is hot. She's hot about it. But we're going to talk about it. But first, I want to introduce my beautiful panel of queens. We have Renee Williams, clinical research analyst. We have Dr. Angeline Dean, creator of Melanated Neurons Universe. We have Tiara Williams, Miss Black Hollywood, our producer, and our vocalist Karma J. And you have little old me, Laura Lalaki, your singing international real estate agent. Ladies, it's been a weekend. Are you guys like getting over the loss of an hour? Because I don't know, as I get older, it gets worse for me. And I'm just like, what time is it? What day is it? It's crazy. Now, listen, all of us here, we talked about these boycotts. Many of us have been participating. You know, we call for it on this platform. So I want to hear your initial thoughts to what you thought when Pastor Jamal came out and said it was over. I'm actually going to start with you, Tiara. What was your first thought about that?
I was like, oh, I didn't know that's what we did. I didn't know we did that, right? Like he compared it to the Montgomery bus boycott and was like, yeah, now it's over, y'all, so we can go back into Target. And I was like, who does that? And I didn't even know it was that kind of thing where you could be like, okay, it's over now. We're gonna patronize. They gave us what we wanted, right? And then yeah, so I just thought I was a little confused that he was the one to announce it. Confusion.
I was shooketh and I said, who said the what? Lala there was no national bulletin, and who is you? That was my response. But what about you, Dr. Angeline? What was your thought about this when you first heard him come out and say this was over?
I said, here we go again, Dr. Jamal Bryant. All right, now hold on 1 minute. What did we get? Who told him that he could just come on and tell us that it's over? Like, we're not your congregation, sir. That's exactly one of the first things that I thought. And we're not going to just jump and do what you tell us to do. And like I said, my initial thought was, well, what did we win? What did we get from there? I didn't hear contracts being signed. I didn't hear Target was going to do this and do that on behalf of Black people. So I just, you know what? It didn't surprise me at all. It didn't surprise me at all. But I was annoyed, very annoyed, because you took from the voices of the Black women in this movement who started this movement, and you knew you had a platform that you could really go public with. So I was already mad because you didn't bring their voices to the forefront. And now you're going to tell us that it's over? No, sir. Not today, not tomorrow either.
You definitely hit another pain point that we are going to discuss with that. Once again, my question was, who is you? Who is you? And why are you tagging on? But what about you, Renee? What was your initial thoughts when you heard that, hey, the boycott's over?
Exactly, because what I heard was that the boycott was over, but at the same time, a lot of people were like, that's what? No, we are not. It is still going on. We are doing it forever, okay, and a day. So, you know, for him to just come out and just say, this is what it is and this is what it's going to be, no, you haven't had any real discussions with the Black women who really started it and had some type of uh, some type of boundaries as to how we are going to communicate this to our community, not your community, just your community and your congregation. So, and my question is, aren't we still doing that? I haven't been to Target since I don't know, at least 2 years now before it even called. If people, are we going back? I don't understand what's going on with that.
You are talking to a Target girly here. When I say to you, I was a Target girly, baby, I would go and ride them carts every day and just walk around and just look and pick up candles. That smell good. Put it in my basket, walk around. And sometimes I would just be like, well, I guess I don't need that. And I put it back and leave. It was just something about comfort to me at Target. So when I tell you this has been a very big deal for me, this is a very big deal for me. I like you too, Renee. It's been over 2 years. And it's funny because hubby was asking me the other day, I think it was about 3-4 months ago, and he had to go get something, and he called me, said, are we shopping at Target? Like, he literally checks with me like, what's good, what's not? And I was like, no. He's like, okay, so we won't be going to Target. So we are pretty dedicated in this house about where we're putting our money, because we know that it takes a conscientious community effort to make a difference. Let's look at some of what our viewership is saying. Our family, you ain't your viewership, your family. We have Anonymous who said, I told y'all who would see Jamal coming. We'd see him coming out of Target. Walterine is here. She said, good afternoon, my royal family. And Anonymous said he tried to tell us. Incog said, why do people take Jamal Bryant seriously? At this point, he's more of a motivated speaker than a real pastor. And then Dr. Vibe says, hello, greetings, lady. B1 family. Double A says hello. And listen, this is a question that we're going to talk about too. Incog actually says, let me guess. Did Target make a huge donation to New Birth? We're going to get into that, but I first want to go ahead and pull this video up so we can check this out, and then we'll get back into the conversation.
The Target boycotts and the Target fasts just work together. You commented this on one of my videos. This is for you.
We asked for 4 things, and I'm grateful to God if we've got 3 of them.
Pastor Jamal Bryant posted that video the day he ended the fast. Saturday morning, he went on CNN, and this happened.
So you acknowledge now that since calling off the fast, that you've got 2 of the 4.
Yes.
Now you've got 2 of the 4.
Yes. We asked for 4 things, and I'm grateful to God if we've got 3 of them.
Now, I've been covering the Minnesota action, which is called the National Target Boycott, since it started. And when asked why the Minnesota group wouldn't work with the other groups, this is what they've said the entire time.
I was asking what communication was taking place between y'all. That's when you said you did not want to work with them. That took place in April of 2025. So what I am...
Yeah, and I told you why. I said,
no, I got you.
Work with them. And they don't have integrity, Roland. And as you just saw this week, that is a clear example of them not having integrity.
So
we don't need this kind of confusion in our community. Now they're trying to save face, talking about they're still in it. We don't need you in it. Go find something else to do with your time that doesn't involve confusing Black America at a time like this. How can you stand with this man in Washington, then turn around and say, oh, I'm still boycotting. Oh, my organization. No, you made a choice, and so did we.
So did we. But here's one thing that I see in our comments that is actually very interesting to me. Kimberly, who is watching us on X, says, I didn't know about the fast until he said something about it. Kimberly, I'm not really sure why you didn't hear about that. This has been an ongoing thing, and I would love to hear some more comments from you on now. How do you feel that there was even a fast at all? What are your thoughts about that? Because I'm asking which rock he kind of been under, because this has been pretty big in the Black community, but I'm just curious to know. Anonymous is still going on, and he's like, he's got it there. He's got it up there. He says that lady was pissed. Yes, she was, and she had every right to be, I think. But Tiara, let's also kind of remind the people, because we see that Kimberly said she didn't really know. So help me, because I know you and I talk about it quite a bit. Help me to explain what the purpose of this Target boycott was. I don't call it a fast. I ain't fasting because I ain't going back. This is a boycott. So what was the purpose of the Target boycott in the first place?
Well, it started with Target acknowledging DEI rollbacks and basically trying to take some of their Black vendors off the shelves. And it was around the time when Trump was asking for companies to roll back their DEI efforts. And it seemed like pretty much all of the companies were bullied. I mean, I don't know, except for like Costco and a couple others, in following the initiative, or their funding was going to be was supposed to be taken. So Target just happened to really catch a stray, because a lot of companies did it. When we looked at the list, it just really sparked this outrage, between them taking vendors off. And I remember we were arguing about whether we were going to go to Target and buy, from Black vendors at Target. I remember my very good friend Tabitha Brown came out and was like, okay, hear me out, y'all. Just still go to Target and buy from Black people, because, and she received backlash from that, because after a while, Black people just wasn't going. Target basically became an example for the Black community. It represented us being able to hold our dollars back and make a decision and say, we're not going back to a company that doesn't want our money, that does not really rock with the Black community. It was again, a lot of companies did it, but it was time. It was the moment, and Black people just really joined this movement. And so that was it was supposed to be, we were just supposed to fast, right? And then I think Dr. Jamal Bryant hopped on. The young ladies, I can't remember all the young ladies that started. I know Nina, but I know that I can pull that information of all, like, the women. But I remember it being a huge thing on TikTok, people saying, no, we are going to boycott Target. And so then after that, basically, long story short, Dr. Jamal Bryant hopped on it, hijacked the situation. I thought he had partnered with those young ladies, but he, in fact, did not. He kind of just hijacked it and used the platform to push his name and his congregation forward. And the other
And
day
in
he said it's
short,
over.
And what I think is also Target and Walmart are in our communities, our neighborhood. So I mean, when you go somewhere, that's the first thing. I'm going to go to Target, and then I got to go get a little couple of things in Walmart. So because it's in the Black community, that's the first thing. That's why they probably got hit so hard, because they're seen as an affordable alternative to get the things that you want. I shopped a little bit to get a couple of outfits at Target. So
Now they got hit hard. I mean, Walmart did the same thing, but I'm saying it was really just the time in the moment, and just the boycott just took off. Some things take off, some things don't, because, like I said, Walmart did it. There's so many stores. Lala, we were building a list, I think, last year when we were talking about this topic. There was just, oh, we're not going to this company. Oh, they joined, they did it. I'm talking about, but nobody got hit as hard as Target. They caught a stray, and for good reason, because I think it just says that Black people will, once we are aligned and we know what's going on and we have a plan, we can follow and we can stick to it. We can.
we can. We actually had people who were also going to Target, and any Black person they saw going in, they would be like, hey, sis, we're not supposed to be here. That's how serious it was. But I want to also go back to Kimberly, because Kimberly, thank you for letting us know, because I love to hear what people are hearing and what they're not hearing. She says, I understand that there was a certain fast on certain days from certain companies, but I just never knew that there was a full-blown Target fast until I heard Dr. Jamal Bryant say something. I was paying attention to We the People about different major corporations when we did the fast with Amazon, and then we would switch it up from Walmart unless it was essential. So that's what I mean by, I didn't know that there was an actual Target fast until I heard Dr. Jamal say it. And then she said, but I haven't been to Target in over 1.5 years, but also fasting from Starbucks as well. Yes, girl, that is on our list too. That is definitely on our list. But listen, I actually want to talk to you, Dr. Angeline, because you did bring up a point, and then Tierra also tapped on it about how it was the young ladies who got together and started this movement, and then Dr. Jamal came on and then just kind of hijacked it. Is this something common that we see within the Black community where it seems like Black men kind of overrun Black women and what they do? I would like to hear your thoughts on that.
I don't know. I don't know of a lot of Black men that I've seen doing things like that. I don't want to say something negative about our brothers when I really don't know. But what I do know is that's what he did, right? And he had the power, the platform, and the propensity to bring all those Black sisters up into new birth and say, this is the movement that we're going to build, right? He could have lifted them up the way he want everybody to lift his wife up. He could have lifted my sisters up who was fighting for the struggle and fighting for the movement. And that's where, for me, I was already kind of done with Dr. Bryant, Jamal Bryant anyway. But when he did that as an activist by trade, no, sir. No, sir. You get nothing from me. Yes.
I have to agree with that. But Armando's here, and Armando's got another point, and I'm going to tie this one to you, Renee, because it was also said, and I'm not trying to do gossip. I'm just trying to tell you what is being said in the communities, because it throws confusion in our communities when things like this happen. So Armando said these churches are also used to tap into Black communities, tapping into our voting power and income. I don't like what I've seen thus far. And then someone else actually, many people that I heard say, I wonder how much donation his church got for saying this. Do you believe that there was some type of tie into that, or he just decided on his own that they had done the 3 things out of the 4 and that it was time for us to move on?
Who are you asking?
Renee.
I think he was trying. Okay, I don't want to get into man versus woman, but I just, he's the pastor, and he's into leadership. So I think he was trying to make an impact of the community, and he just went about it not bringing in the young ladies and not consult with them. His heart, I believe, was in the right place, and it wasn't for a motivation for his church. Although we spend about $1.6 trillion buying power into churches. So I really believe that it was just that he wanted to be a part of that and help the community. But then my question is, because I'm kind of like, boycott, when you think about it from Martin Luther King, they marched, they did what they had to do for a day or two, and that's it. I didn't know that. Now, when we say boycott today, that can be forever. So it's just amazing how the different things, and you know what, probably in his mind too, we're boycotting for a day. We're doing a fast. That's it. 3 days. That's what back in the day, that's what they did. They walked or marched for 2 or 3 days, and that was it. And then, you go on about your life. But now we're extending that to saying, no, this is forever. So
can I?
I was gonna say, I don't know. Can I just say that wasn't it? So the Montgomery boycott lasted 381 days.
Right.
It did not last a couple days. I mean, if anything, Black people really stuck to their guns during the civil rights time. And I'm just throwing this out because I know sometimes the days can get a little, the reason why Dr. Jamal Bryant included himself is he said, well, let's do it for Lent. That was the 40 days, 40 nights fast, right? That's kind of where it came out of. And I just found that and I put it in the banners just so y'all know that. But it was, our Montgomery boycott was 381 days before.
Oh, definitely. Right. It wasn't just 2, 3. What I'm saying though, it was a time that it starts and a time that it ends. But here we're saying that with the target, it started and it's an ongoing thing. It's not stopping. That's all I'm saying. And I think in their minds,
we're waiting for whatever. There's a goal. It's not about days. It's about, what do we get out of this? Are we getting what we ask for? And then us doing it until we get those things. And if we never get those things, then we never go back to that.
No.
And can I just add, I'm not sure if he did this unintentionally, because Dr. Jamal Bryant knows better He knows better. And I can say that as someone who was deployed to the Freddie Gray case, and then he came on down and started helping with the Freddie Gray case. He knows how activism works. He knows that you don't go and usurp your authority, and now you come on the platform and you don't bring other people with you. He knows better. And first of all, he knows better as a pastor to even do that, or he should know better. So I think even starting with this whole Lent stuff was a way he could introduce it. That's just my opinion, the way he could introduce it. But I think he had a plan to keep being in the forefront of it, because he knows activism all too well. And he knows the do's and the don'ts of it. So leaving us out, I think that was intentional.
Well, did you see the young lady? That's Nakima from Minnesota who started. That was on the last video, and she was pissed and said she didn't want to work with him.
Yes.
He reached out, but I don't want to work with you. So if he just, I think what she's saying is like, I didn't want to work with him just because of his integrity and whatever
Yes.
it is that she saw. Like, I don't want to work with you. We just gonna do what we're doing over here. And I mean, they did it. They did it separately, but they did it. I mean, it still had the impact. I just still feel like it was impactful. Either way.
I'm not questioning that. I do
Right.
believe it is. I do want to
Right.
know though, what did we get? Because one time he's saying two things, then the next video he's saying, or next show he's saying three things. So I do want to know, what did we get? That's what I want to know.
I didn't see nothing, because DEI is still in place with Target. And to me, if you ask me, a lot of these companies, such as Starbucks and Target, they swing with the wind. Now, you've already told me what you look like. Now, if Democratic leadership ever gets back in, I see them dropping all the things that was required for them to be okay and kosher with the government during this regime's time. So, once you already show me that you are blower in the wind, there's a song called Dust in the Wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Then I will be your dust in the wind, because I'm not coming back. I've vacillated with that a couple of times with Starbucks early on, because I thought, okay, well, they apologized and they came back, but then they came back with some more stupidity. So I was like, nah, you just ain't getting it. My coffee at home is better in the dag on way. And so I decided that regardless, once you've showed me who you are, I'm not going back. We say that all the time. Once someone shows you who they are, believe them. But we have another video, and I definitely want to check that out. And if we can possibly get the names of those young ladies. I tried to look it up, but I can't do that and be host as well, so that we can share and honor them as well for starting this and being a part of that.
I put it in the banner. I put it in the banner earlier. They're right there.
Okay, thank you very much.
You'll have that. You got
Kimberly, please make sure that you take a screenshot of that, because I know you were asking in particular. But those are the young ladies' names, and we will call them out in just a few. But there they are. Take your screenshot. Please stand by as we watch this next video, and we'll be back into the conversation.
My goodness, DJs on the ones and twos. They got me going to the banners and the videos one after the other without giving me no pause. Let me just tell y'all, like, this is the thing. You know what I'm saying?
You got creative today.
I'm on the ones and twos. They call me DJ Hollywood. All right, so here's what we got.
Who made him the leader of this boycott and fast?
They didn't think we could do it, but we did. History has just been made. The most effective and powerful boycott by Black people since the Montgomery bus boycott 70 years ago. We asked for 4 things, and I'm grateful to God that we've got 3 of them. They have invested $2 billion back into the Black community as they pledged after the death of George Floyd. On top of the $2 billion, an additional $100 million to immediate organizations that are meeting the needs within our community. Number 2, we asked them to partner with HBCUs. They have found, and we have found collectively, one that will do our pilot program with 12 other HBCUs to follow. Number 3, a reimagining of DEI. It's been a rough year for our community. 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs, and this is the highest unemployment for our people in years. The only thing that we didn't get accomplished, but we're still working towards, is an investment into Black banks. And I'm believing by grace it's going to get done. This new CEO has come handling business, and I'm glad to walk with it. The immediate target fast has come to an end.
So Pastor Jamal Bryant is coming.
So that's what we got.
That's what we got.
That's what it is.
Renee, I'm tapping into you, Renee.
I wish I would have seen that first before I talked.
No, that's all right.
Question.
But, okay, who should have the authority to call for an economic boycott? I mean, he's acting like he's the be all say all. So who do you think that, who should have the
I think it should be a collaborative effort, and they should. I don't think. I think, again, I don't think he should have the authority. I mean, it should be a collaborative effort, and who started it should have the authority. So the young ladies started that. They should have the authority and the collaborative of what needs to be done, and they should have been consulted about that. So that's what I believe.
I believe too. But, sometimes we're always looking for a leader, aren't we? I hear a lot of people say, where's our leader? I don't really hear people putting S's on the back of that. So, Dr. Angeline, what responsibility do leaders have when it comes to asking people to sacrifice financially?
Well, I just first want to say that the young people nowadays, they're not looking for one leader. They are looking for leaders. They are looking to collaborate and to do things. The ones that I work with and the ones in the streets that I'm hearing, that's what they're saying now. This is not going to be another Martin Luther King, Jesse, whomever. So because when they're taken out, then we got to start all over and find somebody else. So they are looking towards that. I think we saw an example of what leadership looked like with these young women, starting, moving forward, asking, understanding, educating. I think too, one of the things that has to be done a little bit more is that the whole education piece, right? Because some people refuse to boycott Target because from what I was hearing, they were like, well, why are we fighting for DEI when white women were the ones who are truly benefiting from it, right? And that's a great question. And so when we look at it from the economic perspective, white women might have been benefiting from it, but who was really being harmed with us losing DEI, right? So I think that if we're going to ask our communities about that economic piece, then we also have a responsibility to educate in its entirety of what is happening and what is going on and the importance. And I heard Jamal Bryant say something about financing our pilot programming. So is that a pilot programming from his church? See, this is what I'm saying. So how much are your people getting if it is? What is was it a collective? But I don't even know if he had the right to still call it off with 3 things being met. Did the ladies say they wanted all 4? I have no idea.
Tara, you was correcting us. So you said
I'm not correcting any. I was like, I think.
No, I'm just saying, just letting us know. I mean, well, in a good way. Like, was it a collective or was it his pilot program or one of the pillars that the young ladies were asking for?
Well, first of all, he and the young ladies, let's be clear, they did not work together on this effort, right? I think, like we've been saying, those young ladies did not want to work with Dr. Jamal Bryant. So we keep saying, like, oh, he should have consulted them. He didn't want to work with them. Target wanted to meet with Dr. Jamal. And so he on behalf of the community, he met. Now, I don't have any real issue with Dr. Jamal Bryant. Really, like, I understand, like, there's a history of him and the church and his wife with the dress and all of these things that don't really matter, right? At the end of the day, if something happened and he used his platform to say, well, here's what we're going to do. Now, do I wish that it was more collaborative and that we all can work together in one way? Yes. But whatever it was, but I don't think it was. My point is, I don't think that it was. His supposedly, y'all. I don't know. He said that he's never received any money from Target ever. They have not made donations to his congregation. That has not happened. He has not taken any money from Target. I don't know, right? Because if he didn't take it, I don't know. I don't know. I don't work with Dr. Jamal Bryant, but supposedly he is not. And every effort that came from Target was supposed to come to the Black community and not to him personally. So I'm gonna take him on his word on that. If that's what happened, then this boycott was somewhat of a success if we're just looking at it from like just for base value. But I still think we should boycott Target. I'm not saying we should go back.
Yeah, I have no plans to go back. And that's just the thing. I mean, just like
Same.
Starbucks is not going to get they don't get it in the store and they don't get it in their stores. I mean, because don't forget they also have items for sale in the grocery as well. I mean, so if there's things that is associated with these companies as well, then I just don't participate in it at all. And I know that does hurt a lot of our Black owned businesses who are participating in Target. But also I think that shows them that they need to open up their minds about also looking outside of these type of corporations so that they can also hold their own. That's not always easy, but there should be some kind of looking into that they can deliver their own products without necessarily corporation backed. And that's just my thought. It ain't easy. It's definitely not easy. So let's look at a couple of stats that we have, because Lala likes numbers, and I always like numbers about this time of day. So I always pull them up. And we definitely want to acknowledge the young ladies as well.
Well, let's just go to the young ladies. Give me a second on the stats.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see.
There we go.
Okay.
The 2025 Target boycott was initiated in early February 2025 by Minnesota-based activists, including Nakima Levi Armstrong, Monique Cullers Doty, and Black Lives Matter Minnesota, and Jelani Hussan in California. So they do also have some ties into the Black Lives Matter movement. The movement was further propelled by by Reverend Jamal Bryant's 40-day Target fast during Lent. Okay, so this kind of gives me kind of a context of how he did tag on, and a lot of people do give up things for Lent. I mean, I could see where he was going with that. I don't have any backlash about that at all. Our pastor tells us certain things that we also can fast and pray with during Lent if we should so choose to, in addition to any others that we do. So I don't have any bad words about that. And I think that's what we were talking about earlier. You can fast for a certain period of time. You can even fast for a day. I know a lot of people that fast and pray on Fridays, period, until noon. And then I know people who fast for much longer periods at different times. There is no golden rule about fasting. It's just when you doing something collectively, and in his congregation, obviously that's what he was calling for. So let's look at some stats now. A couple.
Let's break up the stats. Let's go to another video and then we'll come back to stats if that's okay with you.
Well, we shall go to a video.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's break it up a little bit. Add a little something to it. Okay. All right. So this is actress. Her name is Lindsay. She had an issue with some things that were said. I'm not sure. I haven't seen this video yet.
But
I know that she was
in everything. I thought Jamal
Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay.
Turner and Tamika Mallory. It was that the women came together, they brought him on to bring the church and, to make it more widespread and national and to have a bigger movement. He does this video where he claims that Target has met their 3 out of the 4 demands, and he declares it over. How do you declare something over? You make yourself the face of it. You declare it over, and you didn't start it. And the headlines are extremely confusing. You have people asking the very question that you started this off with. Are we boycotting it? Are we not? You have Nina Turner and Tamika Mallory saying, no, they have not met the demand, and they're still boycotting it, while Jamal Bryant, standing in front of a Target sign, is telling you it's over. You didn't start it. It started in Minneapolis. You should have said you're removing yourself from it and it's over for you. But now that you've come out and you've held this press conference and now these headlines, it's causing harm to what the original people who started it a month before you got involved, a Black woman, you're taking away from the work that they're doing, and they're not saying it's over. And the further you research into it, they have not met the demands. They have not apologized publicly. This new CEO has not committed to bringing back the DEI initiatives and programs that existed before. They've merely renamed it with something else and said they'll look into the research of it. All they've done is committed to paying out the money that they already promised they would do prior to this boycott even starting. So what is Jamal Bryant talking about other than trying to establish himself as the beginning and the end of this boycott? I'm not saying that he did not bring this to a bigger audience and gather and corral people to boycott Target. I'm not saying that that wasn't good and that he was not beneficial to that. The problem is he's taking credit for something that he didn't start, and he's ending it when Target has not answered the call from the boycott.
I think that she put that together very well, and I think we have expressed that here as well. But Dr. Angeline, okay, so this brings a question to me: should boycotts have a clear start and a clear end goal? Because it sounds like these ladies made it clear.
Well, I forgot all about Nina Turner, and I just saw something the other day with her talking about this. I don't know how that slipped my mind, and Tamika Mallory. I forgot all about them. Yeah, if you're going to come together, you got to have a start date, and you got to have the goals of why are we having this boycott, right? We're not just going to boycott to boycott. I don't know about an end date. And hearing this young lady saying what she just said, that's what I'm saying is so confusing. It's very confusing to our community. And it's still confusing to me sitting here and I'm hearing this part and then this part and then this part. Again, y'all gonna get tired of me. That's why I don't trust the man. And I don't blame them ladies for not being a part of it, because integrity means everything. And I forgot all about Nina Turner and them. Oh my God. And because I don't think Nina's saying that it's over. And so again, this is where the confusion comes in.
But also, what is it also saying? Let's not even talk about the boycott and this and that. What is it saying about our community? We continue to not come together and solidify and just, one message, one person, two people, three, but it's all cohesive. And every time, and what is it also showing outside of our community to everybody else when they see these things? It's confusing to us, then it's confusing to them. And it's also showing the same thing. We can't get together and we're showing it out there. We're just displaying it.
I think anything like this causes such confusion that it can create the disillusionment that we are not standing together. Because right now, everybody is hearing and Target is seeing, well, look, they're kind of like, are we going to go back? Oh, no, we're not going to go back. Are we going to go back? These are the things that we don't want to present any kind of confusion or disrespect to those who are calling for these boycotts. But, Tiara, how do you measure the success of a boycott?
By the things being met, right? The demands being met. That's the only way. It's the only measure. And so since Lindsay said what she said, I'm like, well, what were the initial demands, right? And this is something I'm still looking for right at this moment. What did Nakima ask for? What did Monique ask for? What did they ask for? Did they ask for a public apology? And what else? And so once I find that information, I'll be able to, well, she's already said it wasn't successful because we didn't get what we asked for. But I think that's the question. Like, why, if there was initial demands made and Jamal was like, yeah, whatever. What we need is y'all to give us some money, right? And her saying that also that that it was money Target already had committed to giving the Black community. So it really wasn't anything new. They didn't roll back their DEI initiatives. I mean, that's big, right? So that's the purpose. So if they haven't done that, then this hasn't in fact been successful. But we weren't going back anyway.
No.
Mm-mm.
I'm, and the thing is, like, I loved it. I mean, I just call me silly. I don't care. But I absolutely loved when Target was literally celebrating the months, whatever we were celebrating, whether if it was Black History Month and they would choose Black artists to come in. And honey, I'm looking at a bag right now that I bought from Target during Black History Month. And when they had that whole section up in the front, and now, International Women's, they have that. They have the gay pride, whether you agree with that or not. We are not debating that. They was embracing any community at the time. And now I feel, how are you going to go from being such a huge person, a corporation that embraces this, to suddenly throwing them away? That to me just speaks volumes to me. It just speaks volumes to me. And
Because
money talks, but our money is powerful.
yeah.
Our money is powerful, and we are showing that, because baby, their stocks and their bonds and their profit and loss is showing just how much we are making a difference. And we just have to remember that, and we have to stand firm. At the end of the day, we all have to make up our own mind of where we're going to draw the line in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
My line is still drawn with many companies. Now I
Mm-hmm.
know that some people can't they don't have a choice, because a lot of times these corporations such as Target and Walmart, they're pretty much all you got in your neighborhoods. But there is something that you can do. Maybe you don't go to that little Starbucks in the front of the Target that you don't have a choice but to go to. You have to pick and choose what it is that's important. But it's powerful, or else we wouldn't be talking about this in the first place. We're obviously making a difference. So I would love to hit a couple more of our stats, producer. Can we do that?
We do. We can hit them now. But I also wanted to just, can you, I mean, if you want to touch on this, I didn't want to talk about the administration and their involvement in all of this, right? They really have created this environment where everybody is confused. Everybody is just trying to hold on to money and fund their corporations. Like, it was okay, like for Target, like you said, I love that too. Like, Target, they're being part of their brand to celebrate differences, have Black vendors in in their stores, sell Black products, Black designers, actually being one of the only big box stores that did that, right? And then you have this administration that is divisive and is full of hatred. And I just wonder, had we not had that, right? Had he not been elected, had and they had the kind of mantras they have about making America great again and what that really means. I just wonder if we would be here with this,
I don't believe we would,
Me
because that
neither.
is the whole that's the fire that's being stoked. And since you did bring that up, I will also bring into the fact that remember when he first stepped in there and he let Musk in there to start going through these DEI programs and slashing people, the first people he went after was Black women and our Black community. And to prove that, if you don't believe me, Mr. Big Balls and all those other young white kids that Musk went in there and hired to do things have taken our information, put them on hard drives, given them to other people. And when they asked them little farts, what does DEI mean? They couldn't tell you. That's how much they hate us. They don't need to know. They just need to know it has to deal with Black. And they couldn't even say it would deal with Black. They said it was a Jewish thing. So this is nothing but hatred from the very beginning. And we would not be here if we wasn't under orange shit pants. And that's what Lala's got to say about it. But I'm going to ask the rest of my panel how they feel about it. Dr. Angeline, how do you feel about it?
I didn't want to talk about Trump today because I know how Lala gets. Go ahead, Dr. Angeline.
So, woo, thank you for letting me know how you really feel, Lala. And I do agree with you 150%. In addition to that, I do believe some of these companies were kind of happy that, Orange Man said X, Y, and Z, so they didn't have to pay. Some of them jumped on the bandwagon real quick. And when you can look at a Costco that stood to lose everything that they stood to lose, but they stood their ground, my whole thing was too, if they would have all came together collectively, what would have happened? right? And said, no, we're going to stand with Costco. And then this one said, no, we're going to stand with the other two. What would Trump have done? Because look at Costco. They got more people coming. They got more business. Their business was elevated. That to me would have been the smart move. But I think some of these companies, they didn't really want to do it. They didn't want to do it with the George Floyd. So this was their avenue out. Yes, that's what I
Baby,
think.
we saw every last one of the ones who was happy that they was going to get rid of this on that inaugural stage. Okay, that immediately they knew what they was going to get, and they knew what they was going to do, because they knew if they donated, they would get exactly what they wanted, and they just was waiting for that opportunity so that it wouldn't be a hot button underneath another administration. What about you, Renee? What is your thoughts on that? Do you think that we would be here if Orange Shit Pants wasn't in the office?
I don't think, I think we would be here in a sense because it's a lot of hidden racism and all of that stuff. So they're still doing what they're doing, but it's just they were now had a platform where they could just come out and be who they are. And now, and I'm glad they did that, because now, you know, you have the list, you see the list, you see the people, and you know exactly what's going on. But at one point, because now I think that was good. That was good because they're not hiding who they are, and they're giving us an opportunity to make a decision as if we want to continue to fund their businesses, because it's all about money. And I'm glad that they see that it is our money, it is our power that is really making them go to another level, right? So it's good that it happened like that. It's kind of like they brought out all the snakes out the grass, you know, and we say, okay, there's his head there, you know, and that's good. So now we know what we're working with, because it's kind of hard to not know what you're working with if they're all behind, oh yeah, we're DEI, whatever, but they're still doing things that really doesn't progress us. So at least you know what you're fighting. At least you know what's happening.
You know where you're fighting. But you know, there's still a lot of people who are underground. But so that's what I say about them. When people get comfortable, then they feel like can come out of the closet and do and say whatever they want to when they don't feel like they're by themselves. And now they can also come together. So what do we say? We say, if they show you who they are, you better believe them. Now, Tiara, you asked the question, but you didn't answer the question. So I want to know what your thoughts are on this.
Man, I hear y'all, right? But I want to say that I believe that it would. I believe that we wouldn't be here. And I say that um because I would watch things of Trump like having conversations with senators and just different representatives saying like, and they'd be like, well, President, we don't want to do that. I don't know if y'all remember this video. I can't remember who, if they were in Montana or what it was, but he was like, well, I mean, if you don't, he was like, well, respectfully, we don't want to do this. We don't want to have this initiative, whatever it was. And Trump was like, well, if you don't do it, then you know what's going to happen. We're going to cut your funding. And I was like, immediate in the middle of we are on public television, and he's just literally running the country like this is death row records, like you on or you're not. And so even when he went to Harvard University and was like, Harvard was like, we're not doing the DEI thing, we're not doing that, like we got our money, we're good. And he was like, and he targeted them. I don't know if you noticed, but like what he does is he targets, no pun intended, but he targets whoever does, when he does not get his way, he targets them. He makes them miserable. He figures out he's petty. He tries to cut funding. I don't know. I just think that companies didn't want to deal with that. And I'm not saying that there's not racist people in there, but I do think that I'm just gonna give some people grace and understand like what kind of regime we're under. So I don't think all of this would have rolled out the way it has. But
He
I
also
think there's also a
chooses what
story.
personal vendettas he has against companies. If he has had
My
something
God.
against that, that's his personal way of getting back.
Yes.
This is nothing but a I have power over you type of situation now. We are in fascism. Tell you that, but that's what la said. Nobody else said it, but la. Let's look at stats.
Okay. Trump has small, he has small,
He's small
he,
everything.
he has small penis energy.
Yes,
Here
he
we
does.
go. Oh my
With
God,
energy
he's
on top.
awful. Here we
Okay.
go.
Today, social media allows economic movements to spread quickly, but also makes them harder to control. The Montgomery bus boycott lasted 381 days and forced changes in the public transportation segregation. And Black consumers spend over 12 billion annually at major retail chains like Target and Walmart.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Black Americans have an estimated 1.7 trillion in annual spending power. We jumped over the B, y'all. We went to the T. Trillion. That
And
ain't
then
no
you
money to sneeze at.
and then you already read these, so we'll skip over those.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Ladies, listen, this is a very good conversation. And clearly, there is still very powerful ways we feel about this. And, I would just love to hear your final thoughts on what we have talked about today and where we also can find you. And Lala's going to keep her passion down a little bit. We're going to start with you, Dr. Angeline.
Don't keep that passion down, girl. Keep giving it to us. My final thoughts are, listen, I hope we are walking away with something. However, I hope, or not walking away, because we're not walking away. I don't want Lala to get me. We're not walking away. But I hope that we did gain at least something. But I hope that we also remember the voices of the Black women. Because, like I said, I had to remember that the other two, Nina and Tamika, were supposed to be a part of this whole movement with Jamal. So it's time that we also understand our power. It's time that we also understand that we understand the role we play. And if we brought even a fraction of that money back to our communities, what could happen? If we brought a fraction of that money back to supporting Black businesses, what could happen, right? What could we create? So this was a great conversation. Super excited to be a part of it. I am Dr. Angeline Dean, CEO of Melanated Neurons Communiverse, an identity-affirming box subscription company for melanated children ages 7 through 12. Thank you for today.
I love that. She's getting them young mans. She's getting them young mans. We like that. All right, Renee, what is your final thoughts and where can we find you?
Well, thank you. Well, my final thoughts is just a fact that I think I would hope that everyone know that Black churches, they collectively hold about 20 billion in assets, but yet only 2% of Black owned businesses receive funding from faith-based investments. So my thing is that when we are, hopefully they will see that we can call these boycotts, but be very conscious about also sending, okay, so we boycott. Now, where do we go? So be intentional about leading them to a store. If it's not Target, then here's a Black business that's similar to what Target is doing, or 2 or 3 of them. So we'll have their names too folded into that message when they are sending it out to the community. I think it would be very important to be able to send the dollars back into the community to make sure that it's circulating for us. My name is Renee Williams. I'm the founder of Tricycle Sync, where 70% of Black women feel unheard by doctors, and we're 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy and complications. They don't see us. And so your health, your voice, and are finally heard here at tricyclesync.com. Please tap in. And if it's not for you, there has to be some Black women who can really benefit from the site. Thank you.
Yes, we must take our health seriously, and there is many times where we are not heard. So we need to make sure that we advocate for ourselves. Please reach out to Renee with any questions you have about that, because it is very, very important that we take care of ourselves, not only our communities. We can't help our communities if we don't have ourselves. So please make sure that you reach out. All right, Miss Tierra, what is your final thoughts and where can we find you?
Right. Well, I mean, I think unity is the answer, and I think we can all agree on that. Um, Constance and I often talk about this, like Renee said, and I'm not sure I know she was talking about churches, but in particular, black people only really invest 2% of that $2 trillion that we have in Black businesses. And so even if we took that from 2% to 10%, I'm sure I've said this week, it would put an additional like 40 to 60 billion dollars back into the Black community, just from going to from 2% to like 10%. Just imagine what we could do with that as a community, having 40 or 50 billion dollars in our community. I mean, it's just really us being more conscious of the way we're spending our money. I know we had a Black business database, but if you are, we have that information still. So if you are looking for, I'll say this today, even though I ain't got the bandwidth to really manage our Black business database, if you send information and you are looking for someone in particular or a company in particular, I promise I always respond and say, hey, I'm going to link you with this company. Because I mean, some hundreds of companies reached out to me and sent their information. So I have those things in a database. It's just not prepared to go to you all. If Lala still has her database, I can send all the people. We're doing it still. So I have the information. If you need something, just let me know, and I'll send that information to you. My
I'm
name is
about it.
about it. All right. So my name is Tierra Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood. Karma J. All depends on the day. And you can find me across all platforms at Miss Black Hollywood. I'm here every single day. We love this. I see this as ministry, and we love and enjoy having these conversations with you. So thank the queens for coming, and also thank you for watching.
And this is a way we also keep communication open with you. Like, I love the fact that Kimberly told us she didn't know about it, but now she knows about it. And she made it a point to ask who was really heading this up, because I would like to go and follow those young ladies. So we appreciate all the input that you guys do. I am Laura Lala Key, and you can find me at laurakey.net. I do deal with international real estate. Believe it or not, record numbers are happening for people leaving the United States of America. People have opened their mind to know that they are world citizens, not just a citizen of the United States. So if that is something that you really are thinking about, you need to start really kind of seeing if it's something for you. So I have this awesome quiz that I have that you can download to see where you stand on if this is something that may be of use to you. It'll tell you, no, I'm not ready. Here's a good starting point. It'll tell you, hey, I'm halfway there. Maybe I should do it and start looking at countries. And then the third is, hey, I'm ready. Let's go. So you can get all of that information on my website at laurakey.net. My message is unity. We must stay unified. If we want these corporations to pay attention to our dollars, we must be unified and stop the bickering and stay the course. And that's where the power comes in. Unity is all about it. Now listen, it's also, y'all, International Women's Month. And I want to highlight someone for you, someone that I had not known about. And this is why we love to do this, because we want to educate you. We have Maggie Lena Walker. She made history in 1903 when she became the first Black woman in the United States to charter and serve as a president of a bank. Through the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank, she encouraged Black communities to save money, build businesses, and support one another economically at a time when most banks refused to serve Black customers. So today we honor her because we are still touting that same message, and we are telling you that our communities, we got to get smarter with our money and be able to help one another get financially educated. So look her up, Maggie Lena Walker. Now listen, economic power, it's always been one of the strongest tools communities have. But with that power comes responsibility, leadership, and strategy. When people are asked to move their money, they deserve clarity and honesty and direction. The question isn't just whether boycotts work, because we do know they do. The real question is whether we are organizing our economic power in a way that actually creates lasting changes. And that is the goal. We thank you, everyone, for being here today. Thank you for Deborah and Black Lexicon. We also had Dr. Vibe and Anonymous and Walterine, and we had Double A. Listen, family, we love you so much, and thank you for being here. We wouldn't have a show without you. Now, if you need a reminder about our show, all you need to do is text the word Queens, Queens, to 87948, and you'll get a notice 30 minutes before we go live. Now, if you still miss our show, you always can go to Spotify and download us there. And you can, like, hey, you might have just found us a month or two ago, but you're like, well, what were they talking about a year ago? You could hear them all. So make sure that you go to Spotify and you follow us there and give us a 5-star rating so others can also follow us. That is what we have for you today. We will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Be blessed and have a great day. Bye.